Mr. Cameron has privately suggested that one of the main reasons young men are vulnerable to radicalization is the traditional submissiveness of Muslim women, which prevents them from speaking out against the influence of radical imams. Orientalism 101.
My name is Farrah. I'm a PhD student in my final year here at SOAS. I also am the director of two companies, one where I apply the knowledge that I've learned through research consultancy, and another company that sources ethical handbags from Pakistan and invests in the transgender community in Islamabad. So I have a web store called saltykiller.com. The point of it is to go and source handmade bags, wallets and purses directly from the market. They're basically made by women, sold by women. My team are all female. I also work for a grassroots organisation called Jawab. I run workshops on things like terrorism and Islamophobia and youth identity. Here at SOAS, I'm looking at Muslims in England, how they are treated, how they perceive themselves, and I've collected between 40 and 60 life histories, a slightly alternative story, one that incorporates intersectionality, Sunni or Shia or Ismaili or Ahmadi, one that incorporates race, gender, economics, but also one that is significantly different to the repetitive story that we're constantly told in the media, by politicians, in parliament reports, so on and so forth. Really my piece of work, whether it's good, not good, whether it's received, well received, is my act of resistance.
Academia is a really difficult space.
There's a lot of people and systems that don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to succeed as a Muslim woman, they don't want you to succeed as a woman, they don't want you to succeed as a brown woman. There are just so many layers of complexity in our existence. Everything has multi-layers and everything is multifaceted. The mosque, the family, friends, the community, they all have a role. It's better that we start to address some of the issues that concern our daily lives, ourselves.
What we need to do is every time someone mentions extremism or terrorism and tries to attach innocent Muslim people to it, that's the point at which you decouple it immediately, because we have the right to exist without all these quite frightening global issues.
It always starts off small, think my house, my friends, my siblings. Then you go wider and wider and wider and wider. We need to consider each other more like family. And I mean that across the social divides, the sectarian divides, the gender divides that we've created for ourselves. That's the approach that I know that I take in my activism.
There are opinions on how you dress, what you say, how you speak, what your views are on certain political issues and certain social issues, and everything is scrutinized. Maybe you are the only one that looks the way you do or that does the things that you do, and people are curious about things other than what you're researching, and that's not a problem limited to academia, that's a problem that women face in general. Your story is almost up for sale. I'm not sure if there's ever been a turning point, but I definitely think there's been a journey of growth. But actually, as you grow in confidence, you realise that your work is your worth. The level of time and effort that you put into it is ultimately the foundation on which you are going to be able to stand. It's about figuring out what's best for you. But that can't come from anyone else, and that's, I think, a mistake that a lot of people make. They allow friends or family or colleagues to shape massive decisions in your life, which then maybe you regret later on down the line. So I think really figure it out. What are you good at? What are you bad at? What makes you happy? What do you think is your measure of success, and how can you get there? And understand that that goal is not going to be achieved in a week, a month, or even a year. The idea that you'll work really hard and the journey will be smooth and you'll get what you deserve, it's not real. What actually happens is you fail a lot, things don't go your way, you get angry, you get sad, people try to hold you back. You hold yourself back sometimes, suffer from something called imposter syndrome. Why am I here? Am I good enough? Why isn't anyone else here? Am I wasting my time? Will I be accepted? And I would say that for every person, you need to understand what your personal barriers are and then work out ways, because there are ways, how to knock them down one by one, and to accept and understand that sometimes that might take you longer than a counterpart who doesn't face all of those issues. The playing field is not equal, and the playing field does not believe in equity either. And so you understand that you probably will have to work twice as hard to get to where you want to go. I'm just doing what I'm doing with the support of those that I love. Sometimes even that's not there, and then the drive and the determination comes from somewhere deeper because it's coming from within yourself. But at least I can say, using everything I know and everything I read and everything I did and everything I had access to, at least I can say in this very small way, like, I did my bit. But in terms of women in general, I don't believe in is there space, not space. You make space, you take space. You don't ask to exist, you exist in that space. You learn how. That's maybe the most difficult thing to do. If it's for you, I genuinely think you should grab it with both hands and force your way in, quite frankly, because there isn't any other way.